Hello, my fellow Americans. Welcome to What's the Context, the podcast where we tear through the propaganda, cut through the misinformation, and get straight to the unfiltered truth. My name is Natamu Folk. I've worked in Congress, spent 2 years organizing in the South Side of Chicago, and served as the body man of Congressman Jonathan Jackson, the son of Reverend Jesse Jackson. I earned my degree from the University of Chicago in economics, and I'm currently pursuing a master's in political science at the University of Munich. My experience in government, grassroots activism, and academia has shaped the way I see the world, and on this podcast, I bring that perspective to you, the viewers. No spin, no fluff, just raw, unfiltered analysis about the political landscape. Hello, my fellow Americans. Welcome back to What's the Context with your host, Tom Forward. I speak to you today not just as a new voice in politics, but as a neighbor who shares your fears and hopes. Right now, in countless homes across our country, families are lying awake, wondering how they will make it through the next month. You might be one of them. You might know what it's like to open an email or get a phone call that tells you your job is gone. Not because you failed, not because you did anything wrong, but because of the reckless shenanigans of those in power. Imagine dedicating years of service to your country only to be told at 4:45 p.m. that by 5 p.m. today, you're no longer needed. Imagine the confusion, the anger, the panic of rushing to pack your office things, of wondering how to explain to your kids that the paycheck you rely on has vanished. This is not a nightmare or a bad dream. This is reality unfolding right now in America. These are the stakes: our families' livelihoods, our democracy's integrity, our faith and leadership itself. All of it is on the line. I know you are frustrated. I know you feel ignored and betrayed. And you have every right to feel that way. Because what we are witnessing from those at the very top, from President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk, is nothing short of an assault on the dignity and security of working Americans. The point of this podcast is to provide a voice to the voiceless. I want you to feel heard and understood. I want to channel our collective anger and turn it into a determination to take our country back from executive overreach and corporate capture. So listen with me. Let's walk through what is happening together and ask the tough questions that too many of our leaders refuse to answer. Let's shine a light on the truth, because you deserve the truth. Not long ago, President Trump signed a series of executive orders that trample on our principles and attack the very people who keep our country running. In one brazen move, he targeted a private American law firm by name. Yes, you heard that right. The President of the United States issued an executive order specifically against Perkins Coie LLP, stripping its employees of security clearances and sabotaging its ability to do business with the government. Think about how extraordinary that is. We have never seen a president use his power to punish a specific law firm simply because its lawyers represented clients who dared to challenge him until now. Legal scholars are shocked. They say they're not aware of any prior administration ever taken such an act of revenge. But Donald Trump did. Why Perkins Coie? Why this law firm out of all the issues in America? Because Perkins Coie once worked for Hillary Clinton and has been involved in lawsuits challenging Trump's actions. In other words, Trump is using the power of his office to settle old scores. He's using the executive orders not to create jobs or help families, but to pursue revenge with his perceived enemies. He attacked Perkins Coie's diversity and inclusion efforts as a pretext, but we know what this is really about. It's about a president who cannot tolerate dissent, who cannot stand anyone who holds him accountable, and in going after this law firm, he's sending a chilling message to lawyers, judges, and to anyone who might defy him. Support me or be punished. This sounds more like a power-hungry maniac than a president. Now, some of you might say, all right, but I'm not a lawyer. Why should I care about Perkins Coie LLP? Here's why. Because this is just one piece of a much larger pattern of abuse. If the president can crush a private firm for doing its job, what's to stop him from crushing anyone who stands in his way? Today, it's a law firm. Tomorrow, it could be a newspaper, a business, or a union, or it can even be you. This is a president using his pen to bully instead of leading the American people. And while he obsesses over those petty problems, guess what he's not doing? He's not doing the hard work of governing a nation. He's not helping you put affordable food on the dining room table. said he's throwing our government into chaos. We all know about Elon Musk, the celebrity billionaire, the tech tycoon, who loves to claim he's innovating our future. Some admire his success, but today we need to talk about his responsibility in this unfolding tragedy. Elon Musk is not an elected official, but somehow he's been given a seat at the table of our government, and the results have been devastating. It was Elon Musk who showed the playbook to Trump. Remember when Musk took over Twitter, now X, and overnight fired thousands of workers? People woke up to find they were locked out of their accounts, livelihoods gone with a short, cold email. No notice, no mercy. Families suddenly without income or health insurance. That kind of cold-blooded approach might be how Silicon Valley oligarchs think business should be run, but it's not how our government should treat its people. Yet Trump saw what Musk did and thought, great idea, let's do that to the federal government. So Trump's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE they call it, has put Elon's mass-firing mentality in charge of our public institutions. Donald Trump and Elon's cuts to the federal government has caused a record-breaking surge in layoffs. Make no mistake, this was a team effort. Elon's influence is all over this. The administration even cites Elon's innovation as inspiration for slashing jobs. They act like firing people by the tens of thousands is some genius move out of a tech startup playbook. Well, it's not genius. It's heartless. It's throwing hardworking moms and dads into economic turmoil for the sake of an extremist agenda. And now that the pain and backlash are mounting, what's Elon doing? Is he standing up and saying, yes, I advise this and here's why I think it's right? No. He's reportedly whispering in private meetings with lawmakers saying, hey, don't blame me for all those mass firings of federal workers. Don't blame him. Families are losing their homes, scrambling to pay bills, and Elon Musk wants to wash his hands of this? We will blame whoever is responsible. And that includes you, Mr. Musk. You can't play kingmaker with our government and then pretend you're innocent when the hammer falls on ordinary Americans. Think of the workers at NASA, or the EPA, or the local VA clinic, who just weeks ago had stable jobs and plans for the future. Now they're in unemployment lines because Trump and Elon decided to conduct an experiment on our workforce. These are real people. These are not imaginary people. These are real families now drowning in uncertainty. You know some of them. They're your neighbors, your friends, maybe your relatives. Their kids go to school with your kids. Elon's billions will shield him from any consequence of his cruelty. He's not the one who will struggle to pay the mortgage next month. But you and I see the consequences every day in our communities. We feel the pain. I want you to feel the anger that I feel right now. This is not normal. This is not how a responsible government behaves in a democracy. We do not hand over the reins to unaccountable billionaires to decide the fate of our public servants. We do not treat the livelihoods of honest workers as pawns in some type of power game. You should be angry that this is happening. Angry that your tax dollars paid these workers' salaries, trained them to serve you, and now pay for their severance. All because Trump and Elon decided to play tech bro CEO with our country. Ask yourself, who benefits from this? Is it you? Is your family benefiting from having fewer FDA administrators to ensure your medicine is safe and your food is safe? Or fewer firefighters and rangers in our national force? Are we somehow a stronger nation when we punish law firms for standing up to power? When we fire scientists, analysts, and secretaries en masse? Who is this helping? Because certainly it's not helping the American people. So I ask you this. Where is the accountability? When a factory closes due to a greedy CEO, we protest. But when our own government, influenced by a man who is supposed to build rockets to Mars, starts firing nurses and engineers and park rangers, do we just shrug? Are we going to shrug? No, we must not. While all this turmoil is ripping through America, what is Donald Trump busy doing? Is he huddled with economists, trying to find ways to help those families he just pink-slipped? Is he working late to create new jobs or training programs for the laid off? No. He's on stage or online reliving old battles and nursing old grudges. Donald Trump is obsessed with the past. He refuses to lead, and instead he blames and complains some more. Day after day, we hear the same tired grievances. He blames President Obama for anything that goes wrong. He blames President Biden for things that are happening on his watch. He blames Hillary Clinton. Still, can you believe it? For things that happened nearly a decade ago. He blames the media, blames the deep state, blames independent agencies, blames everyone except the one person who's actually in charge right now, himself. Endless complaints, zero leadership. Trump is so busy looking backwards, refighting the 2020 election, reigniting his conflicts with everyone from Hillary Clinton to the late John McCain, that he can't see the crisis unfolding in front of him. His latest executive orders prove it. He's more interested in settling scores than solving problems. Why go after Perkins Coie in an official order? Because in his mind, it's still 2016. He's still angry at Hillary Clinton's lawyers. I think Trump is like that one neighbor who wears a tinfoil hat, shouts at the mailbox, and insists that squirrels are government spies. This is a tantrum from a man who just cannot move on from the past. It's like an ex who keeps texting you at 2 a.m. about unfinished business. Except the business is imaginary, and you've already changed your number twice. And who pays the price for his man-child tantrums? We all do. While Trump obsesses over the last election, or the one before that, who is focusing on the next generation's education? While he's ranting about how unfairly he's been treated, who is working on lowering our cost of living? While he's targeting past opponents with executive orders, who is building the future of this country? His answer to any challenge is to point fingers at someone who came before him. It's annoying. Let me be clear. A leader who dwells in the past and lives for personal vengeance cannot bring us a better future. A president who only says, "I inherited a mess," or "nobody has ever been treated as unfairly as me," is a president who is shirking responsibility. We have real problems. Right now, families are struggling, an economy trembling under the weight of these layoffs, a world that isn't standing still, and a declining stock market. And Donald Trump is stuck in yesterday's news. He even had the gall to dismiss the pain caused by his actions. When asked about the economic turmoil from his decisions, he said it'll just be a little bit of an adjustment period. Just a little disturbance, that he's okay with that. Okay with that? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with thousands of your fellow Americans losing jobs overnight and the president brushing it off as a minor hiccup? I'm not okay with that. No decent leader should be okay with that. When a president shrugs at your pain and says, "We're all about to find out how little that disturbance will be," it shows a stunning lack of empathy, a failure of the basic duty of a leader. So yes, I'm calling out Donald Trump for his obsession with the past and his failure to lead. I am calling him out for chasing personal vendettas while Americans are crying out for help. Enough is enough. We need a leader who faces forward, who addresses the present, who plans for the future, instead of the one who's forever stuck looking in the rearview mirror and blaming others for the wreckage he leaves behind. One of the most shocking aspects of his executive overreach is Trump's direct assault on press freedom, a fundamental pillar of democracy. For decades, the White House Correspondents Association maintained a long-standing system to ensure fair and balanced access to the president, regardless of political affiliation. This meant that no matter who was in office, Republican or Democrat, the American people, not just the president's supporters, had access to real, unfiltered information. That system, it's gone. Trump has seized control, deciding for himself who gets to cover him and who doesn't. Now, only those who praise him, flatter him, and follow a line will be allowed to access White House press briefings, Air Force One, and major diplomatic trips abroad. This is not normal. This is not democracy. It's not just about controlling the narrative. It's about erasing any voices that don't reinforce Trump's fantasy of being powerful and respectable. It's about silencing criticism before it even happens. The examples are already piling up. Trump banned the Associated Press from the White House simply because they referred to the Gulf of Mexico instead of his preferred name, the Gulf of America. Think about how weird that is. What's next? Will PBS be kicked out for refusing to call Sesame Street by the name America Street? Will National Park Rangers be forced to rename the Grand Canyon to the Trump Canyon just to avoid any problems with this current administration? This isn't just pettiness. This is a direct attack on our First Amendment rights. The freedom of press is enshrined in our Constitution for a reason. It ensures that the government cannot dictate what information the public receives, cannot suppress the truth simply because it is inconvenient, cannot silence dissenting voices that hold power accountable. But Trump does not care. To him, any criticism, any tough question, any refusal to play along with his charade is high treason. Think about that. The President of the United States, the leader of the free world, treats journalists like enemies of the state just because they report facts that don't align with his narrative. He's not just mad at the media, he's actively trying to control it. If a newspaper refuses to rewrite reality at his command, he sees it as a betrayal. If he's willing to punish the press, what's stopping him from going further? What's stopping him from banning visitors from the White House simply from voting Democrat? What's stopping him from blocking social media users who criticize him? What's stopping him from punishing businesses that don't show absolute loyalty, like he did with Perkins Coie? This is not how democracy functions. This is how wannabe dictators create an illusion of strength. Not by governing, not by leading, but by desperately suppressing any voice that threatens their fragile ego. Donald Trump is not strong. He's not confident, and he's definitely not a leader. He is a man-child who cannot handle honest criticism. My friends, it is time to channel our anger and our anguish into action. This cannot continue. We cannot continue like this. We have to stand up and say enough is enough. Enough of the executive overreach. Enough of the power games that trample on working families. Enough of the endless blame shifting and the failure to take responsibility. Today, I am joining you in a movement of Americans from all walks of life who have had it with leaders who put themselves above the people. I refuse to watch silently as our neighbors lose their jobs due to spite and mismanagement. I refuse to stay quiet while a president abuses executive orders to attack his critics instead of serving the citizens who duly elected. I refuse to accept that a tech billionaire can experiment with our livelihoods, then shrug it off. And I know that you refuse to accept it too. So what can we do? First, we demand accountability. Demand that our representatives, Republican and Democrat, stand up to these abuses. Second, we demand real leadership. That is why I'm speaking to you. Not to talk about what's wrong, but to fight for what's right. Real leadership means putting people first. It means a president who, when jobs are lost, doesn't celebrate a made-up victory against a deep state, but instead loses sleep, figuring out how to get those people working again. Real leadership means focusing on the next generation, not the last election. It means having the courage to say, I was wrong, when a policy hurts people. And the vision to create jobs, not to cut them. I promise you this, if our leaders won't deliver that, then we, the people, will. We, the people, will step up. We will rally. We will organize, and we will vote like our livelihoods depend on it. Because they really do. Your voice is your weapon against this injustice. Use it. Speak out. Tell your friends and neighbors what is happening. Do not let them normalize this cruelty. Every time Trump tries to deflect with another issue about the past, bring the conversation back to the present. Back to your lives. Back to the family struggling because of his choices. Every time Elon tries to tweet his way out of responsibility, remember the families behind those unemployment statistics. America, we have a choice to make. Do we want a nation to be defined by vengeance and cruelty or by hope and opportunity? Do we want our leaders to tear others down to settle old scores or leaders who lift people up to set a new course? I know what I want, and I believe you want it too. We want accountability. We want leadership that actually leads. We want an America where no president, no matter how powerful, is above the principles of justice and fairness. We want an economy where innovation means new jobs for workers, not just new riches for billionaires. Today, I ask you to stand with me in saying enough is enough. Let this be the moment when we decide to fight back. Let this be the moment we refuse to let our government be hijacked by personal vendettas and billionaire opinions. Together, let's demand a government that works for the people again. Together, let's insist on leaders who remember that their job is to serve you, not their own ego. I may be new to the political arena, but I'm not new to the struggles you face. I'm not new to the values that make this country great. Hard work and fair play. Standing up for what's right. These are under attack from the highest office in the land, but they live in the hearts of every ordinary American. They live in you. So long as we hold on to that, we have the power to change this. In the days and weeks ahead, we will hear more from you. I hope I hear from you. This is a podcast, this is a campaign, and this is a movement. It's not about me, it's about us, the people. It's about every family who's had enough of the turmoil and wants stability and hope. It's about every worker who's tired of being a pawn and wants to be treated with respect and dignity. It's about every American who believes our best days can still be ahead of us if we have leaders who are willing to lead. Let us go forward from this day with a fire in our souls. Yes, be angry at what's happening. You should be. But let that anger give you courage. Courage to speak. Courage to act. Courage to demand better. Because we can do better. America can do better. Donald Trump's era of endless grievances and Elon's era of thoughtless layoffs will not be our future if we decide here and now to reclaim our future. I'm determined to fight for that future, for America where leadership is measured by the jobs created, not the jobs destroyed, where our president looks forward, not backward, where our economy grows for the middle out, not the top down. Join me, hold me accountable as well, because accountability is the bedrock of democracy. Let's hold all our leaders to the same standard. Tell them we've had enough of the excuses, enough of the cruelty. We demand results. We demand compassion. We demand real leadership. Thank you for listening. Together, we'll turn this moment of crisis to a turning point of hope. Together, we'll restore the promise of this nation, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, where every family can feel secure and every leader is held to account. Thank you, God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.